Hey everybody, Chris van die Kerk here at Blue Rhino Safaris. It's the end of the lockdown, we can start traveling again, and I thought it would be a good idea to take you for a spin of my Bundutop tent. I used to have a hard shell tent, the Wild Earth, before this one. Great tent, but then I upgraded to the Bundutop. Reason I did that was I needed something that can go up and down quickly without light. If I get to a campsite at night and it's dark and I sort out my guests, then I do not want a tent that I need light for to pitch it. So this tent you can pitch in the pitch darkness, and it works just as easy as in the light. So let me take you for a spin on my tent. I almost have a year in it now, aside from COVID, and let me show you how it works. It's fairly straightforward. You have to undo the four latches on the sides, otherwise the tent obviously will not lift. And then you have a control panel on the side here. Let's have a look at it quickly. There's a fuse, a 15 amp fuse that will fuse if you lift the tent with the latches on. It's a safety device. You shouldn't trust on this, but if you lift it with the latches on, you'll probably blow that fuse. These two silver things are contacts onto the winch inside, and if your system for some other reason doesn't work, you can override by directly going onto your winch with these two contact points. So it's a positive and a negative on the winch itself. Then you have your up and down button, and then you have power to the tent on the grey plug, and the red plug is the solar panel on the top that feeds power through the tent, comes out here down into the system at the bottom. So when you get to camp at night, you loosen the latches, press the top button. Stops by itself because it does have a limit switch built into this, and therefore you can't go beyond the limit switch. If you use the two contacts, you can. You have to be very careful. If you use the contacts, that you don't go beyond that. You can bend the tent in that case. Let's go inside and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. So what I like about this tent is, one, it has an aluminium roof, which means that there is no rain spray that could come through. It also has a flat roof, so I can fit a solar panel on it. At this point I have a 360 watt solar panel on the top of the roof, which is permanently connected, which helps me charge my batteries. What's also nice is this whole little awning that goes all around the tent. That means that it keeps the water off the sides, and if it's raining, normally the water drips past the tent. So the sides doesn't get wet. If you fold the tent in the morning, generally the sides are dry, and there's no water that falls into the seams down here where a leak could occur. I've camped with this tent in rainy weather and I've never had any problems with watering the tent. What's also quite nice is on the inside there's a gutter around the base, so the mattress is not lying in the bottom of the tent. There's a gutter on the side, and then it's slightly lifted where the mattress actually sits. So if there's water inside the tent, or you have a water bottle or something is leaking, then it would generally go into the gutter and sit down here in the gutter, which is about 3 centimeters away from the mattress. So the mattress never sits at the lowest point in the tent. The gutter around the edge is the lowest point. I've got extra cable coming in, which is my 220 volt cable from my inverter, and it's there for electric blanket in the winter, or charging anything inside the tent. So let's get inside the tent and have a look at what it is, what it looks like on the inside. Through a pulley system would lift the corners up and down. So Fairly straightforward mechanical system that runs with a winch on the inside. There's two bags in the two corners where you can leave your earpods or something if you're listening to music. And then on the side there's my 220 volts. On the side there is a gutter, as I mentioned, so if stuff falls off from the tent, then it will fall into that. So this is my tent on the inside. I'm sitting upright, the roof is above me, the height is about 1 meter that the roof goes up. And what I like about the tent is the fact that the windows are quite large, so you can have a very nice ventilation on all the windows. What I also like about the tent is the fact that it's open on all 4 sides. So if I have something happening in the front, let's say I'm camping and there's a leopard walking around, on the wedge tents you cannot see one of the sides. This tent you can see out on all 4 sides. You can also then access the tent on any of the 4 sides, either from the side or the back, this side, or from the front if you want to. If you want to, you can put a box in front of the tent and you have access to clothes from this side. The tent also has a little light on the inside, which is connected to the power. It's got a 12 volt DC on the inside, and you can charge your devices in the tent itself. The mattress is a nice thick mattress. It's 100 millimeters high density foam, and it sleeps very nicely. Definitely a good mattress. The bed is 1.4 meters wide, and in my opinion less than 1.4 becomes a little bit tight if you are 2 people in a bed. 1.4 is just comfortable so that everyone has their own space. The tent is also nice and long, so you don't have your feet touching the canvas at the bottom and your head touching the top. It's long enough for tall people to sleep straight without having to bend. What's also nice with a square side tent, you can see the tent sides are square. What is nice about that is that you don't have that wedge that reduces the effective length of the tent. So a wedge tent, if it says it's 2.1 meters long, then your effective length is about 1.9 meters because of the wedge in the front that reduces the length. So if you're lying on your back and your toes are up, you will touch the wedge as it goes up, and that effectively reduces the length. So yeah, it's a lovely tent. It works well. It's waterproof because of the aluminium roof. The solar panel is permanently connected, and I've got an awning all around, so I can open the windows up to this level from the top down when it's raining and the rain runs off and down there. So I don't have water coming into the tent. So if it's a summer's day and it's raining, it's quite comfortable to open the windows about halfway down and have a nice draft through, smell the fresh rain and enjoy the rain outside. You won't get wet. Good mattress. You can leave your bedding inside, you can leave your pillows here. If I put a fan in here, then I can sometimes even leave the fan inside because there's enough space for all your bedding and all your stuff inside of the tent. Let's get out and have a look at how we close this thing down. So let's say you have early morning and you need to get going. Then closing this tent is fairly straightforward. You just press the down button. Then just before it touches, you can just go around and check, make sure that everything is tucked in nicely, that there's no canvas sticking out on the sides. This side is fine. And then you just close it. Latch it, put your pins in, and that is it. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the best addition to my camping kit that I've ever made. It is a tent that really sleeps comfortably. It is warm. It's not noisy when it rains. There's no mist inside the tent when it rains. I've got visibility all around the tent. I don't have a dead end where I can't see what's going on that side. I can, if it rains, I can keep the windows open. There's no rain coming in. And if you want, you can fit a awning on the side, which will give you rain cover if you want to get in and out from the side. I don't have that. It's not a big issue for me. The ladder generally would go on the side. This ladder I just built in permanently on my vehicle because I'm always traveling, so it just makes life easier for me. But a good tent, aluminium with canvas. The canvas can be replaced after a few years. If you want to replace your canvas, you can do that. So it's a very serviceable tent itself. So I think Bundutop, good quality tents, always busy improving their designs. Their wiring, everything is always being improved. So the latest model Bundutop tents are really worth getting, and it's not much heavier than a normal tent in any case, so there's no real issue with that. If you have a problem with the electrical system, this tent can be lifted by hand, and so you can just lift the top up. It is a bit heavy, but you can just lift the top, put in a spacer, and then work out the pulley system to get it to run. But I don't expect any problems. The winch is not under designed, so I don't think there will be any issues with this tent at all. So yeah, if you are keen on an electric Bundutop tent, please give me a call. I can do the installation for you. I've got a lift, so it's easy for me to get tents onto roofs. It's not much heavier than a normal rooftop tent, so it's quite easy to switch over from a normal tent to a Bundutop. You get it in various colors. You get the silver, like I have here. You get a sand on the outside. You get white and you get black. Then the canvas itself would be a sand color, or the olive green, or grey. Different colors that you can choose from. You can choose to have fans built into the inside, fit awnings, things like that as well. You can get non-standard sizes also. If you want a size that's bigger, then Bundutop will build a tent for you that is more suited to your size.